Hi guys, and thanks for joining me again. Well, my Telecaster for sale in the last video sold really quickly. So like any good guitar collector, the one out, one in rule kicked in last week, and lo and behold, I finished up buying a new guitar. So here it is, a Gibson Custom Shop 2007 John Lennon Les Paul Junior, and this one is number one of 166 of 300 made. And I thought I'd start this video with a little bit of backstory on the original Lennon guitar. So in early 1970, just after the breakup of the Beatles, Lennon purchased a near mint 50s tobacco sunburst Les Paul Junior, and soon after took it to New York guitar luthier Don DiMarino to be modified. Now, it's no secret that Lennon loved tinkering with his guitars, and according to DiMarino, amusingly, Lennon, who was not particularly technical, asked for a humperdicker pickup to be installed in the neck position of his Junior. So instead of the requested pickup, DiMarino suggested a Charlie Christian pickup, which are known for their warm and clear tone and would match the output of his original Bridge P90 pickup nicely. So this incarnation of Lennon's Junior with the Charlie Christian pickup and sunburst finish can first be seen when he played with Chuck Berry in the Mike Douglas show in 1970. Now, at some point afterwards, Lennon returned his Junior to DiMarino and asked him to sand the sunburst finish, a request that wasn't unusual for Lennon, as he had done this with his Gibson Acoustic and Epiphone Casino previously while in the Beatles. So the sanded version of the guitar was used during his famous 1972 performance at Madison Square Garden, which was the first time he'd performed live since the breakup of the Beatles. So it would be fair to say that this guitar, his Junior, would probably be his most favourite guitar used in the post-Beatles years. So after the Madison Square Garden show, John decided to have the Junior finished with a cherry stain, still in its sanded finish, and it's in this condition today that the guitar remains in. And as far as I could find out online, Lennon's Junior was last seen publicly at the John Lennon Museum in Japan, which closed its doors in 2010. And of course, the guitar is part of the Lennon estate, which is overseen, of course, by Yoko Ono herself. So if we now fast forward 35 years, Gibson approached Yoko Ono in 2006 about producing a limited run of replicas of John Lennon's Les Paul Junior. And Gibson obtained Yoko's permission for the project, and their historic program manager, Edwin Wilson, visited the John Lennon Museum in Japan, where the guitar was currently on display there. Now, there were a few stipulations for handling the original Lennon guitar, and apparently Wilson couldn't remove or loosen the strings, and he had to wear white cotton gloves when handling the guitar at all times. However, Wilson was allowed to take comprehensive photographs of the guitar so the Gibson Custom Shop could meticulously recreate the individual cherry colour of the guitar, although obviously Lennon's was sanded with a cherry stain, where this one actually has like a nitro finish. Now, the photos also documented all the unique dents and dings on Lennon's guitar, and most notably among them are some strumming scratch marks here and a little cigarette burn near the edge of the body. And he was also able to remove the backplate and examine the pickups so that the custom shop could accurately reproduce these pickups and all the wiring of the guitar, and of course measure all the vital stats of the guitar, including the weight and the neck shape. So I have to say, from my point of view, there's just incredible attention to detail in this guitar, and it's almost a little eerie to pick up and play. It really kind of feels like it has the spirit of John Lennon. So now I thought I'd go over a few of the specifics of these John Lennon Les Paul Juniors, and of course one of the centerpieces of the guitar is this beautiful sounding and very hot P90 pickup, and to my ears it sounds really good and consistent with a true vintage P90, and right up there with my 60s Epiphone Casino for actual authentic sounding P90. Now, the other pickup, the Charlie Christian pickup, I personally wasn't very familiar with when I first picked up this guitar, probably because it's mainly used on archtop guitars by jazz and swing players, but I have to say I love this pickup, and it's very warm and clear and quite unique. But if I have a slight criticism, it's a little bit noisy, but it's very unique and usable to my ears, and I look forward to experimenting around with this a little bit more. Now, interestingly, I went looking for photos of Lennon playing this guitar with a Charlie Christian pickup selected, but I couldn't find any. It would seem live he mainly used the Bridge P90 pickup, but I did see one photo of both pickups selected during his Madison Square Garden show, so who knows, maybe he used it in the studio a little bit. So as soon as the guitar was handed to me, there were two things that immediately struck me, and the first being the weight of this thing. So this is no flyweight Gibson, this is 8 pounds, 8 ounces. And, you know, it's a pretty weighty beast, but pretty consistent weight-wise with other 1950 Les Paul Juniors from what I could tell. I haven't played too many of them. Now, the second thing that struck me was the beautiful chunky 50s medium C neck, which to me was quite reminiscent of some of the best Gibson R9 necks that I've played. And the other thing I really liked immediately was the 3/4 scale, as it reminded me of my Gibson J45 neck, which is very comfortable to play. And I couldn't help wondering whether this 3/4 scale was one of the reasons Lennon liked the guitar so much. So he was obviously very fond of his little Rickenbacker 325 and also the 3/4 scale Gibson J160E, which he played right through the Beatles. So there you have it. That's my Gibson John Lennon Jr. If you have any comments about the guitar, please leave them in the comments section. I always enjoy reading them. And hopefully I'll see you again on another video really soon.